detective was looking for you on the breakfast shift.
For me? I'm Alison Brooks. You were asking for me?
Yeah, I was, Alison. You read lips, right?
Yeah.
One sec.
I can do it if you tell me where it is.
We're watching a gang who are planning a robbery. They're always careful to meet in places where we can't bug them.
That's why we need a lip reader. Who is that?
What's your name?
Hume. That's his name.
The gang are meeting in a bar not far from here.
The Canterbury.
Alison, have you been working at the bar?
Can I tell you a secret? It's my birthday.
We're spinning off the edge of the world.
So you were always watching?
Well, you got something to hide.
Anything you can get from Liam could be essential.
We were so clear to you about the dangers.
I could see a lot more if you just get me closer.
Brand new drama, Code of Silence, starts Sunday the 18th of May on ITV1 and ITVX.
Welcome back to Only Murders on TV, the podcast where I talk about and review crime, detective, thriller, anything that requires the police or a police-ish system. So, Reunion is about someone being released from prison. There is a copper in that. Aventador, Cracker, Line of Duty, NCIS, CIS, Law and Order SVU. I'm trying to think now. The Brokewood Mysteries, The Bridge. Can't think of any other international. Anyway, that's beside the point. Today, we're talking about the NTA award-nominated Code of Silence. Yes, today, the 20th of May, 2025, they announced a long list of nominees for the National Television Awards that will air on ITV on the 10th of September 2025. The shortlist will be revealed in August, with the long list including Code of Silence, which aired on the 19th of May 2025 and the 18th of May 2025 on ITV1 and ITVX. All episodes are available now on the ITVX app and on demand on Sky if you've got Sky or whatever on demand system you've got that doesn't require you to go through any external apps. He'll be available there. So let's talk about Code of Silence. So in this review, to make this make more sense, I know I'll be reviewing Code of Silence is the program. I'm going to itch back and apologise. I know we'll be reviewing Code of Silence, but at the same At the same time, I'm very itchy. I do apologise. At the same time, I won't be reviewing, but I'll compare it to the BBC's Reunion. Why? Here's why. Code of Silence stars Rose Ellis. Reunion stars Rose Ellis. They both came out in 2025. They both centre around the deaf community. So Reunion is more heavily used BSL, which is British Sign Language. Internationally, you would have ASL, Australian Sign Language, or American Sign Language, or ISL, which is Irish Sign Language. I do apologise if I got that wrong. So you've got a heavy amount of BSL use within Reunion, and it mainly centers around a deaf person who's come out of prison. Rose Ellis plays the mother of the victim, right? So Rose Ellis is the daughter of Anne-Marie Duff from Bad Sisters, Anne-Marie Duff's husband is the victim in this, in Reunion. So Rose Ellen Ellis didn't have a big role in it, but she has a big enough role to be in the main cast. She isn't the main character like she's in Code of Silence, but she is in the main cast. She was lucky enough to appear in the documentary that they made at the end of, I think it was like episode 3 or something. The other reference I want to make for Code of Silence, well, for Reunion was made by Warp Films, who made the yet to be critically acclaimed, but it will win BAFTAs, Emmys, and all sorts next year. But it's the soon-to-be award-winning Netflix series Adolescence. So Warp Films already had a good track record, and Reunion was what it needed next. Now, Code of Silence was executive produced by Rose Aylen Ellis, sort of does deafness in a different way. Whereas Reunion heavily uses BSL more than any other form of deafness. What I mean by that is any form of communication within the deaf community. Code of Silence has BSL in it, but it uses lip reading more than anything else, because that's a skill that the police sort of want in general, and it's the sort of area of deafness that you don't really see being used quite a lot when you get these types of stories. Because the BSL zone uses a lot of British Sign Language because it's called the BSL zone. Like, it's called Luma TV, but it's still organised by the British Sign Language Broadcasting Trust. A lot of people that work on Reunion worked with the BSL zone first. So you sort of get this aspect of Reunion was groundbreaking for BSL drama on mainstream TV like the BBC, and I think Code of Silence sort of breaks another boundary to, whereas Reunion wasn't your idea of a traditional crime drama. Code of Silence was used as its traditional form of crime. So you've got your detectives, you've got a crime, and they're going to solve it, right? Classic, traditional, British angle on crime. This is what crime is here in Britain. There you go. That's that. What they've done differently is that whereas normally in crime, it's our main character is this detective. We're obsessed with the detective and the detective's psychic. We want to know more about the detective, all this, that, and the other. This is more about the police have a canteen in their area, and our character, Rose Aylen Ellis' character, Alice, I think she's called, she is good at lip reading. So she's put it on the data record that the police ask for when you sign up for a job. It seems. I don't know too much on that front. And so you get this aspect of, here we go. She's now been given this job as a lip reader. This review will contain spoilers from here on out, so I do apologise, but your time to stop watching or listening, wherever you're watching or listening to this, because you can now watch podcasts on Spotify. Please stop watching now. Right, this should be gone now. So, Rose Aylen Ellis is doing this aspect of lip reading for this criminal gang, right? And she's sort of one game. This bloke said, oh, he's called Liam, and she's sort of, what you get Reunion is your traditional subtitles for BSL, and you get that in Code of Silence, but an aspect that I really like, and a lot of people are gonna agree with me on this, is that you think, when you think, oh yeah, someone can lip read, you think that if I said, hello, my name is Tom, you would assume, without knowing, that they would immediately get that says, hello, my name is Tom. But because I said it in a fast way, hello, my name is Tom, I might have said, ducks, cheese, and ham, duck, cheese, and ham, duck, and ham, hello, my name is Tom, hello, my name is Tom, hello, my name, and you sort of, not too sure if they got it. So what I really like about this show, and it happens all the time within it, is you get a moment of Right, so she's seen the words being said. On the screen, we get a mashup of words. And it's the brain. This isn't to do with any accident. I mean, this is what probably actually happened. This is probably the most accurate representation of this thing. I don't think you could represent it. No one can say that's wrong. Because it's probably the way the brain does it. It's probably nothing that anyone can say that really happens. So the brain is seeing these words and they're trying to piece them together. Sometimes, when someone says gun, you could argue that could be fun. And that's what happens in the show. There's an element where she says, I think they got a gun, but it might be fun. And that's where Colin Holt crops up. You know, Colin Holt, who doesn't really do drama, but was excellent in this drama because he's a comedian. He does Animac on stage. He was in Eaglewick FM. He's cracking. He's hilarious. And he's brilliant in this as well, so we need to give him more drama roles. And you look at this, and you go in further detail into this show, and you sort of have to think to yourself, right, I've just seen Code of Silence. What do I think? Well, it's excellent. It is. And other than having the words not be words, and then you watch how the words are formed. So it might say, let's think. So the words we're after is, hello, my name is Tom. So it would say, Olelo, T-M-O, A-ish, W-M, and obviously T-M-O. So it wouldn't make any sense. The structure of the sentence would make no sense. But when you piece it together, when your brain switches on and goes, right, oh, this is it. Then it goes into, hello, my name is Tom. And you can see, hello, my name is Tom. You can see on the screen that it's sort of done that. And that, I think, is really clever. I know this isn't really necessarily knowledge to everyone, because not everyone watches or fast forwards through to get to the interesting part of the one show. One. That, yeah. In the one show, they interviewed Charlotte Ritchie and Roseanne Ellis, who were in this program, and there's a section in that interview where they try and explain what deaf people hear, because everyone hears a noise. Deaf people, some deaf people, I mean, this is probably not the same for everyone, but for Rose Allen Ellis, she hears a noise, but it isn't words. It's nothing that helps anything. It's just the noise of your head, the noise of inside you, and the noise of the mechanics of a hearing aid. And you sort of hear her explain, or I think it was Charlotte that probably explained it because it was probably better coming from her. So no one can ever discuss, no one can ever sort of understand what every person on Earth goes through, right? What's it like living in your body? No one can know that, right? Unless you can sort of digitally create it. And so, what they did was they attached some sort of recording device to some element of Rose. I can't remember where, to try and capture what audio and what sounds being permitted, so that when they do the sequences where she's in a pub and she needs to lip read subtly. I mean, I don't know, staring at someone trying to read lips, I don't know how subtle you can be with that. You can see her stood there, and it comes into a shot of her face. You see the words, but then you hear this noise. And that wasn't fabricated. The music, melody, music in the background was, obviously. But the noise that she's hearing whilst trying to lip read at that moment, you can sort of understand, now knowing this fact, that it wasn't manufactured. It was official. It was what actually she hears audio. And that makes this more stand out more. I think it sort of helps to say, yes, we're doing a crime drama, but we're doing something different. We're doing something like that's never been done before. We're doing something that not even Reunion has done, because Reunion did one half of the story of the deaf community, and we're doing the other half. So I think this is the year for BBC One and BBC Two, BBC One and ITV mainstream programs that are about the deaf community in a crime drama sense, because crime dramas are slowly becoming more and more popular and more common here in the UK. And I know we've got sitcoms and sketch shows and whatever, but crime dramas in all forms are becoming really popular. And having deaf representation on the BBC and on ITV1 really just helps to say we are trying to improve and fix the representation issues that have occurred, because we all know that representation is slowly getting better and better and better. And I think that this year, the representation of the deaf community, I think, has been really good. I just hope that this moves forward. And what I really want, and I know this might never happen, there is a sitcom on the BSL Zone called Small World. I do hope at some point in the future the BBC buy the rights to Small World and airs it on either BBC Three or puts it on the iPlayer at least, because then that will enhance their track record with the deaf community. Now, overall, I think the show is excellent. I think it was brilliant, and I think it's well made, well deserved, and just beautiful. The story is about a criminal gang, and they've been trying to track them down for years, and they need a lip reader. So in comes Rowan Aileen Ellis. And I think that what works really well is that you can sort of see that being a thing that generally happens. And you can sort of see that it's the type of thing that show needs. I think that the direction, I think the camera shots, I think the camera angles, I think the colour grading, I think the editing, I think the acting, I think the whole concept was just phenomenal. I loved it from start to finish. And I think that the show needs to come back for a second series, because it ended on a sense of it could come back, but I've just got a feeling that they might leave it as it is and call it a limited series. And I think the next stage, I think, for this element is that Rose Ellen Ellis this year has done a sign language program for the BBC where she teaches old people to sign in an old people's home, or in a care facility for not for children, right? Because one of the couples wasn't old in the sense of old age pensioner, but they were needing of that assistance, and they were older. They were probably at the back end of 50, but they weren't in the OAP category. She then did Reunion, and she's now done Code of Silence for ITV. So I think that we just need more deaf documentaries. Let's get Imi from Pottery Throne on Channel 4 to do a documentary. And then we'll have filled the gap. Because I just think that Imi's got good personality that deserves another chance on TV. So, Code of Silence is this brilliant, this exciting, this nerve-wracking programme. you sort of get invested in the characters, you get invested in the storyline, you get invested in wanting justice at the end. And I think that that's what makes a crime drama so successful. I am going to review Reunion as a separate podcast episode, but I wanted to compare it with God of Silence because it both sounds wrong to Alien Ellis and it both takes deafness from another angle. And overall, I think that Code of Silence works really well. The cast, the characters are all really likeable. And I think that fans of Charlotte Ritchie are going to love this. If you loved You, more of a dramatic role for Charlotte Ritchie, I think you'll love this because it's another dramatic role for Charlotte Ritchie. And I think that she works so well with Rose Allen Ellis. And they want to be a team and race across the world. I think I would like to see that. And so, there we have it. If I had to rate it out of 10, which I never normally do because I don't really like rating systems, I would give this a 10 out of 10. I would give Reunion 10 out of 10 as well, but this is back to the traditional style of crime drama, and I think it just works really well as a crime drama. I think my favourite moment, this one I hadn't said, I think my favourite moments, with the plural, was every time Rose's character went into lip reading mode, and I think the words appearing on screen, and I think all that element worked really well, and I think that Rose was a great person to have as our main character. I don't think I could picture any other actor playing that role, and I just think that's what makes this show so special. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you for more Only Murders on TV. Bye-bye.